morning here at the end of March here in the northwest of Ireland, and I've had a revelation. Sounds a Christian thing, but yeah, it's probably a weird one to have on Easter, but then again, it is Ostara and it is the spring as well. I was looking at, rereading, again, started rereading Steve Blamir's the Irish Celtic magical tradition. And in this book, he proposes, quite brilliantly, I might add, that the Battle of Mythura story within the Irish annals is really very similar to the Bhagavad Gita, in that it's not only a war, a battle on the battlefield, but it's also a battle inside consciousness, as opposed so below. This is probably why there's, and I totally agree with that assertion, that theory, that's why there's two battles of Mythura mentioned in the annals. One up near the Neil, which is a very interesting place, very strange place, on County Mayo, near the Mayo Galway border, and down in southwest, over in West Sligo, around Loughallen and area. And the concept is that, what takes place on the battlefield in reality is mirrored equally by what takes place in the world of the consciousness, the spirit world, the soul world, the other world, as the ancient Irish call it. It just dawned on me, within Irish mythology, the story was that the Tuatha, after they had been defeated by the Milesian Gaels, retreated to the barrows and the hills and the rats and the enclosures and the mounds and the tumuli of Ireland, waiting for the moment when they would rise up to save Ireland at its moment of its greatest peril. Now, you have this kind of thing that'll be in your mind, from a simplified thing in your mind, something, and that kind of tradition is quite common in many, King Arthur in England and so on, but I'll talk about that in a bit. This kind of thing of the ancient, the folk spirit of the people. Now, people try to think it's like, it'd be actually literal, it'd be like the army of the dead in the Lord of the Rings movie that will come out of the mountain and they'll come down. No, it won't be like that at all. Well, it's not like that at all, because it's already happened. I'm absolutely convinced now that and it's also why, and I'd never really thought about until this morning, that why I start referring to us lot as the tribe. Well, what's the Irish word for tribe? Tua, And so what we are the Tuatha. Those of us of have any Irish ancestry in us would be that, no matter where you live in the world. You don't have to live in Ireland. And likewise, those of you who have Anglo-Saxon heritage or Slavic heritage, anything, the folk spirit of your people, those of you who have joined this kind of this emerging consciousness in the face of the woke globalists, is the tribes, the ancestral codes. And I'm now convinced that they knew this was coming. They knew this was happening. They may have seen changes in DNA, because that's ultimately where it comes from. It comes from activation of DNA codes that are stored or sequestered inside our bodies. And when the time is right, like similar to what morphic resonance that Rupert Sheldrake talks about, these codes unfold and open up and unleash new potentials. And I think that's what we are. I think that right now Ireland is in its greatest peril. Absolutely. This has never happened before. The culture could never be wiped out before, because there wasn't the technological means to do it. They didn't have the biotech means to do it. They do now. And I think they knew these things were coming in all over the West. They knew that the Western people of European heritage, were having an awakening, or something was changing in their DNA, and they said they're going to break free of so let's introduce the needlecraft to shut them down. And that's why that needlecraft was part of that awakening, to kill that. I'm convinced of it. And if you've taken the booster, you've destroyed your ancestry. You've destroyed I'm not being mean, or I'm not being hurtful, but you've damaged, you've damaged it. It's as simple as that. And, of course, I've all the sympathy in the world, someone who were forced into it and stuff like that, but that's just what's happened. Those of us who've resisted We have come out of the mounds and the barrows and the tumuli and the enclosures and the rats, and here we are. We've come out, but not as dressed as soldiers and stuff like that. But it's today the war is psychic. It's in the mind. And when I look at the Irish establishment now, I see the Fomorians, the ugly Fomorians. Every single member of the Irish establishment, political establishment, seems to have that turned down mouth, that kind of liars. Have you noticed that? I've literally seen photographs now with entire lines of Irish politicians like this. That's a Fomorian egregore. They are the Fomorians. We had the Tuatha Danann, and we've returned from the other world to defeat them, to save Ireland in its hour of greatest peril. And I'm going to make another video after this that'll be much more current affairs thing. But I just wanted to get that out there. Stephen Sutton made a very good point that we're remarkable people. We're not just ordinary schlubs. You know, we're all different types of people. Some of us are pagans, some are Catholics, some are Protestants, some are atheists, but we all feel the same way, that there's a globalist attack upon our homeland, the goddess Eru, and we've been activated to stop it. I truly believe that in my heart and soul, deeply. There's not even a doubt about it. And whatever culture you come from, your ancestors, your activation codes have been switched on too. It's everywhere. And this might explain why Ireland got it so badly, and countries that had large Irish heritage populations, like the United States, Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, got whacked as well. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? And yeah, that's what we're up against. And so Stephen Sutton said, you know, we're all polymaths. We're all just like Lulan Fada. We're people of many crafts. We can do lots of different things. We live in the practical world, but many of us are kind of artists and poets and writers and musicians as well. On top of that, you know, we operate in things like, you know, our weapons are the tip of the spear. Things like memes, or the ability to have discourse and dialogue that can, like American, the Druid, who ironically was with the Milesian Gaels, who said, "I am a satirist of the wind." The destruction with satires. You know, that's what memes are. Memes are the modern bardic satires. That's what they are. And spoof videos and all this kind of thing. Like the one I did yesterday. That's extremely bardic. And the concept of mimicry and all this other things, and things that they can't fight with, and staying out of the political frame. And yeah, I look around me, and I'm seeing myself surrounded by people who are Catholics, Protestants, Christians, Muslims, not Muslims. Well, maybe there could be ones, but I don't know. But you know, maybe they converted or something. But they're on our side. They're being activated. They're being activated, and it's a good thing. It's a very, very good. Actually, I do know one person who's half Armenian, half Muslim, and they're very much in the Tua, in the tribe, from the Irish side. So there you go then. And I know at least we know Kevin Sharkey and a few black people that are Irish and black, and their ancestral codes have been activated as well, just like the rest of us. So it's not you know, it's not red-haired Colleens dancing at the crossroads. It's a it's a polyglot of different personality types, all with the ancestral code switched on. So when I was using the term tribe, I didn't really realize at the time, but we are the Tuatha Danann, the people of the goddess Danu, and we have been activated to return now to defeat the globalist Fomorians, the tax collectors from across the sea, and their agency here on the soil of Eru. Take care.